Hey guys, today we have Sandeep and he is having total 4.8 years of experience in Java, Spring Boot and microservices domain. And those who want to give same free mock interview, please fill out the form below in the description. So now let's get started. Hey, hello Sandeep, how are you?
Hi, Fazan. I'm good.
Shall we start?
Yeah,
Okay, so Sandeep, can you please introduce yourself and your recent project in brief?
sure. So basically, my name is Sandeep. I am from
Mhm.
Bihar. I have a total of 4.8 years of experience as a Java backend developer, and basically, this my current company is Infinite Computer Solution. It's my third company, and from 4.8 past 4.8 year, I am working as a Java backend developer only, and my tech stacks are core Java, Spring Boot, Spring. In terms of database, I worked on MySQL and Oracle SQL, and
Okay,
bit of I also worked on microservices architecture.
okay.
So these are my
So like,
yeah.
tell me, how do you secure Spring Boot application from the scratch? What would you do?
Yes, so for implementing the no Spring security, firstly I we need to add the Spring starter security in the pom.xml, and for that we need to create firstly we need to have configuration file. In that we will be extending JWT auth filter. Inside that we will be having we will be overriding the do filter method. Inside that we will be implementing those for in terms if we're talking about the JWT security. So for that we'll create a JW, well, like how to create token, extract token, verify the username, all those things for the API purpose. And
Hmm.
apart from passing the HTTP request, incoming request, and blocking and blocking, we will be having the config file where the cost filter will be there. Inside that we can we are having method overridden method with that cost dot filter,
Hmm.
something like.
Okay.
We will be permitting the API URLs, whatever
Hmm.
we can want. Accordingly, customly we can
Got
implement
it.
those.
Got it. Let's say you need to share common configs like logging and security across multiple services. How would you create and use a custom Spring Boot starter?
Custom Spring Boot
Starter.
starter, right? So for custom Spring Boot starter, for that we can create we don't I don't have much knowledge
Hmm.
about custom Spring Boot starter. uh,
We can create our own starters, right?
yes, we can create our own starter. Like is it possible to is it possible to directly we can copy that from POM, the central Maven repository, that starter, and we can import into our Maven project? Is it possible? I'm not sure actually.
I think we should first create a new model jar with shared configuration classes, right? First, we have to create a jar. Then add a spring.factories file pointing to our configuration classes. And then publish this jar and add it as a dependency in other services.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes.
Okay. How does Spring Boot auto configuration work internally?
Okay, so auto configuration is basically, first it will check for the call configuration files, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever we have,
Mm-hmm.
annotated with, and it will scan all those, packages that, inside our the main, inside the main Spring Boot
Mm-hmm.
packages, and it will accordingly whatever accordingly from the POM file, it will scan all packages. And as we know, in main class we are having a Spring Boot application annotation. So through this it will scan and run the embedded server through that. uh, it is
Yep, yep. Hey guys, I want to share something important with you. Actually, Sandeep prepared from our interview preparation kit and cracked multiple interviews. We have also referred him to the multiple companies. So let me tell you, this interview preparation kit has four main parts. First is complete interview preparation material. It is a step-by-step material made by me, expert and MNC's interviewers. 99% of the questions asked in interviews are covered in it. Second is two real enterprise client projects, code and video recorded sessions are there, and you can add this in your resume. Third is lifetime chat support. Here you can ask your doubts anytime. Fourth is referral support. We help you to get referred to the top MNCs. So basically the material is organized as per your experience level and covers Java, Spring Boot, Spring Security, Spring Data JPA, Microservices, Kafka, Maven, Git coding questions, Stream API coding questions, and many more. You can buy just the complete interview preparation material or the full kit with project supports and referrals. I have added the links in the description below. So now moving to our interview. So Sandeep, can you tell me the difference between component, service, and repository annotation, and also tell me, can we interchange these annotations like using service annotation at repository and repository in the service files?
Yes, basically, these component at component services and at repository, these are like, we can use, as you know, at component only, but through our convenience, or to identify the each layer, like this at repository will be mainly for database related things, and database related classes, and that service will be for business logic. So we have defined for our own convenience, but yes, we can use at component in terms of services and at repository.
Let's say you need different configs for dev, test, and prod. How do you manage and switch between Spring Boot profiles?
So for that we will be having for profiles, right, in Java
Mm-hmm.
resource folder,
Yeah.
properties file. So that dev application dot dev application dot prod, like that, application slash dev application slash prod.
Mm-hmm.
So for prod related configurations, we will do all those configuration in prod, along in
Mm-hmm.
the same way we can all configure all those file into the dev. And in our main application dot yml file or application file, we can specify the this one this proper profiling, like this will be the dev or prod
Mm-hmm.
spring.profiles.exe.
Okay. Okay. Tell me the difference between CRUD repository, JP repository, and paging and sorting repository.
Actually, the CRUD repository, paging repository, or
JPA repository.
see, so CRUD repository, basically the upper layer, which will be extending the JPA repository. Okay, and this and all these two, like the pagination is also an abstract layer of that CRUD repository. So whenever we are extending the JPA, it will automatically extending the CRUD repository along with this pagination.
Okay. You are saying CRUD is repository is extending JPA repository, or JPA is extending CRUD.
JPA is extending CRUD.
Hmm. Yep, yep. So CRUD is a basic CRUD operations, and JPA, along with the
Yes,
basic CRUD operations, we have some JPA specific methods like flush, say flush, batch, deletes, right?
you're right.
Okay. Do you know about custom queries and have you implemented any custom query?
Custom query for JPA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Like how can we optimize custom queries?
See, custom query we can optimize, by using two ways. One, we can use native query. One, we can use JPL query,
Mm-hmm.
and these two, will come under JPA only. Also, JPA have a default default
Mm-hmm.
derived query we are having. Like if we have multiple tables, let's suppose for employees, we are having name, email on that name, email, or phone number. Based on that, these parameter we can have a derived JPA query. But in terms of we talk about the custom query,
Mm-hmm.
if we talk of native query, so what native query will do is, native query is based on database layer. It's a database dependent. We talk about the JPL query. JPA query is basically a table dependent, or database
Mm-hmm.
independent. So we can use based on our optimization. If we are not dependent, basically if it optimized, then JPL query is good, preferable.
Okay. So do you know about entity lifecycles callbacks?
Entity life cycle. Theoretically, actually, I forgot that one. Like
Okay.
in creations, and
Uh, uh,
if you give me a hint, I can explain those
no,
things.
bean creation, I think that's a different life cycle for bean. Entity life cycle, like pre, persist, post,
Okay,
load.
pre-persist post. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
So pre-persist basically before the entity creation,
Mm-hmm.
pre-persist, or whatever the entity we will be creating, it will go first pre-persist, and
Mm-hmm.
then this is actually this whole thing we are talking about inside the transaction management, I think, if I am
Okay.
not wrong. So then it will go to the persistent layer once we'll do
Mm-hmm.
any transaction or before the committing, and then post creation, once we do the commit
Mm-hmm.
or save changes, then it will go to the persist layer.
Okay. Okay.
It is not, it's not 100% correct.
No,
Need
actually, transaction manager is a different thing, right? Here, this comes under entity manager, like the life cycle of entities. Okay. We use annotations like pre, persist, post, load, etc. to run logic during entity stage changes.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know about entity manager and how it is used in Spring Data JPA?
Yeah, I know, but in deep, I think I will be, I need to recall that.
Yeah, entity manager is a JPA interface to interact with the persistence context. It is used for basically custom queries and native SQL operations.
Okay.
Okay. And do you know how does lazy and eager fetching work?
Yes, yes. So basically, eager, the preferred method will be the eager only. So
Mm-hmm.
time of calling only that if we annotate with a eager, then at the time of calling only it will fetch the data, and
Okay.
for lazy initialization automatically it will call. So this is the two main difference. Also,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there is a n plus one query issue is there. So in that case, we will be calling that the best preferred method will be eager only.
Okay. And by default, what happens? Lazy loading or eager loading?
Lazy loading.
Lazy loading. Okay. Um, okay, moving ahead. Can you tell me the advantages as well as the challenges of a microservice architecture?
Yes, so first I will go to the advantage is the
Mm-hmm.
basically we are multiple services. So like we can first we can develop different services in the different languages, and we can communicate those things, right? We can write the code also, and that easily deployable. That is also
Mm-hmm.
good advantage. And
Mm-hmm.
microservices basically that will be used for the large application only.
Okay.
And disadvantage will be the handling will be very difficult, and in terms of costing, if we talk
Mm-hmm.
about that, also will be high for managing this one. So these will be advantage disadvantage we talk about.
Okay. Okay. Have you worked with microservice architecture? Did you face any challenge
No,
yet?
like architect only they have handled. I just worked on the services, and
Services.
no,
So by the time when
it's
you
not.
joined, architecture was already there. Is it?
Yeah, at the time of designing, that time I was there only, because
Okay.
that was designed from scratch only. But this
Mm-hmm.
now creating Europa client and API gateway, these things
Mm-hmm.
they have develop and just commit the code, and then we have
Mm-hmm.
started picking up the services and working on those.
Got it. So how do services communicate in a microservice architecture?
HTTP REST client, we can communicate.
And what about asynchronous?
Yes, asynchronous. Yeah, these are the communication through which we can communicate to different services.
Mm-hmm. What is async annotation in Spring Boot?
Async is basically if we denote with the async annotation. So simultaneously, let's suppose if any method is declared with async annotation, so
Mm-hmm.
uh, like all the processes or all the codes whatever we have written in that method, it will
Mm-hmm.
execute and successful. But simultaneously the async method will work, or like if we call you have called any method inside that one, so if simultaneously it will work, it will
Mm-hmm.
execute.
Got it. Got it. How do you implement API gateway?
Implementing AI API gateway, uh, I'm not sure about that.
Okay, you are not sure. Um, like, have you used patterns to handle inter-service communication failures?
No, I have not used.
Okay.
Currently, my project, this is HMS, basically Tata Play project. So they are
Mm-hmm.
following the monolithic architecture.
Okay,
In this,
monolithic
the
architecture.
50% code I have done. So this is basically,
Mm,
completely monolithic. Not maybe mostly maybe 100 users will be there.
got it. Is it based on Maven or Gradle?
Maven.
Maven. Do you know the life cycle of Maven?
Uh, no, I forgot that.
Okay, okay. Like it's first validate, then compile, test, package, verify, install, deploy, right?
Yes.
What's the difference between Maven clean and Maven install?
See, Maven Clean is basically, it will clean all those, target file, and
Mm-hmm.
just compile that one. And Maven install will all scan all the packages, delete target folder, and
Mm-hmm.
run all the cases, and run the application.
Okay. How do you manage dependencies and avoid version conflicts?
Dependency, see, so for that, we can have, we can do the versioning of the API. So you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about the versioning, right?
Yes, yes. No,
So we
no,
can have.
not versioning of APIs. I'm asking about dependencies versions in the POM. There might have conflicts, right?
Yes, yes. So in the parent, we are having, a parent, in top of the POM file, we are having the
Mm-hmm.
parent. In the parent file, we are having
Mm-hmm.
the, uh, I forgot that exact name for that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
version is there, a spring dash version something is there. So in that, there, in the parent only, we can define the version of, inside the dollar, with the dollar bracket. So
Mm-hmm.
there we can have all the, we can define all the versions in the
Okay.
depend for the
Okay. What is a parent POM?
parent POM is basically, that POM, parent POM is basically in the top of all those, POM, which will be extending, which will be,
Mm-hmm.
like a parent of all those, that is defined under other dependencies.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, tell me, since you are having 4.8 of experience, okay, it's a mid level, right? You might face a lot of conflicts, right, in your past while merging your code. So just tell me, how do you resolve it, and what would your suggestions to your juniors if they face conflicts?
See, for the merge conflict, basically merge conflicts happen when we are merging the code, right? At the time of
Mm-hmm.
merging, we're committing the code. So merging the code will, what we will do is we'll check with the exact file that should be,
Mm-hmm.
commit, right? That should be merge. So manually we can, resolve that conflict by, placing the exact file name that should be changed. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a also, another way, that the steps taken should be like before, starting where we can, we should be taking pull, and that should, and our, local branch should be updated with the,
Mm-hmm.
dev branch, whatever the working branch we are currently working. So that should be, these steps should taken care.
Okay, got it. So let's say you are working with your junior in one of the feature, right? You are just guiding him what to do, and he's leading that feature. Now you guys have merged your code changes and deployed in the production. Everything was working fine in that dev environment and staging environment, but there are some issues in the production environment. And what? So my question is, what would you do? Would you take that code and clone in your system and then do a deployment, or you would suggest to your junior developer like what should we do?
See, as a senior, first, what I will do is, instead of, resolving quickly, will be taking, will be taking, because this will be a production issue. So definitely we need to be calm, and we'll think about. We will try to. I will ask junior to, replicate the same issue in the lower environment, so that the
Hmm.
same issue, it is replicating or not. If it is not replicating, we'll go with the logs and try to resolve that one, that production issue. So this two, or in terms of communication will ask junior to take care, obviously, because the mistakes should always be learning.
Hmm. Okay. So you are saying you will not clone the repo and you will not figure it out yourself. You will ask juniors to figure it out. What the issue? You
First,
will just
first,
giving
first, I
guidance.
will, yeah, first I will ask to uh, that I already mentioned. First, I will ask to
So
replicate
what
the
if
same.
he or she is not able to replicate the issue?
Then I will go there and will ask, or maybe guide, or maybe it is not possible to handle from their side. Then definitely I will have to take care of that. So I
Okay.
will check the logs and will see the exact issue and will resolve the bug.
Okay. Okay. So can you tell me the best practices for branching strategy?
So best practices basically, if we are working in a best practice basically creating our own local branch. It's a
Mm-hmm.
good practice. First, second, every time when we are starting our work, then we will be taking the pull, or also at the time of committing our changes,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that our local branch should be updated every time with our main header branch.
Okay.
So this main, yeah.
Got it. Do you know about rebase?
Yes, rebase is basically, every time, like from our head branch, if we are doing rebase, it will be, updated with our local branch or working branch, we can say.
Okay. Got it. Um. Uh. Okay. Moving ahead. Um. How would you analyze the performance issues in production environment? Will you use any tools or what stuff would you use? Or would you do?
See, performance tools, actually, honestly, I'm not aware of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, my seniors only, they are handling technical architect. But
Okay.
but as a Java backend developer, what I can do is in production, we'll check the CPU uses.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is whole system, like completing in terms of front end and back end, if
Mm-hmm.
everything is taking longer time, then we'll look like which, then I will go with the APIs, if it whether
Mm-hmm.
it is back end side or it is from front end side. For that we will be using the Postman. If API is taking too much time, then we will be trying to optimize the APIs.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is from front end side, they will ask for front end to check.
Okay. Got it. Have you used concurrent hash map?
Concurrent hash map I have not used, but a
Okay.
little bit I know.
So can you tell me the internal working of concurrent hash map?
Concurrent hash map is basically the internal working is basically on the hashing only the hash table. But the thing is, the concurrent, when we are doing any modification in a hash map, uh, if we are using a hash map, if we are doing any modification, it can cause concurrent modification exception. And
Mm-hmm.
if we are using, if we are any modification doing any modification using, if we are like with the current concurrent hash map, then we
Mm-hmm.
should not get any such exception.
Okay. Got it. Do you know what type of logs concurrent hash map uses internally?
Logs,
Or is it bucket level locking or is it node level locking? What type of locking?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
Bucket
Uh,
level, I think.
yeah, yeah, bucket level locking. And have you used hash map?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so what's the differences between the internal working of the hash maps before Java 8 and after Java 8, do you know?
So see, the calculation of the bucket for the hash map. Previously, it was on a linked list. Now it is
Mm-hmm.
moved to a red black tree. So in Java
Mm-hmm.
8. So these are the main difference. Otherwise, implementation uh, internal implementation of hash map in the same only. Na calculating hash code, and based on hash code we are calculating the bucket position, and then
Mm.
we can insert the key values.
Okay. So what's the role of equals and hash code method and what's a contract?
See, the equals and hash code basically, is the contract to defining, in the hash map we talk about, to get the exact, to put the put the key into the
Mm-hmm.
hash map, and also to fetch the value, get the value from the hash map. So hash code will first, calculate the hash code of the particular object or key, we can say.
Mm-hmm.
And by calculating the bucket index, uh, equals method will be, based on equal method will be putting the that equal method to find the exact position where that key has to be inserted.
Mm-hmm.
So these two will be, we can say, the, the contract for the, equal and hash
Got
code.
it. Got it. How Java memory model work? Do you know?
Java memory model,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much idea about that memory model.
Okay. Do you know the difference between heap memory and stack memory?
Yes, so see, heap memory, whatever the, static variables or static methods are there, that is
Mm-hmm.
basically the heap. And
Okay.
for all the locals, whatever we are creating the variables, and these,
Mm-hmm.
that will be stack.
Okay. Got it. Can you tell me the important annotations while creating the REST API? If we want to create REST APIs, what would be the important annotations?
Yes, so first will be obviously the REST controller,
Mm-hmm.
and second will be the request mapping. If we are, we are having, if we want to create the API, that we want
Mm-hmm.
to, keep our endpoint with some common endpoint, so we can use it, that request mapping to the class level. And apart from that, for the method level, we will be using, the get mapping, post mapping, put
What's the
mapping.
difference between path variable and request param?
See, path variable is basically, that we are fetching the value from the, request param, request URL, whereas the path request param will be nothing but we are fetching the value from the,
Mm-hmm.
parameters from the URL.
Okay, got it. Let's say there are two APIs. In one API, we are returning the plain response, raw response, and in one of the API, we are returning the response with the response entity. So, what would be the differences between their responses?
See, if we are the plain response, basically we are not simply returning either maybe a string or maybe the object.
Mm-hmm.
And in in other terms, if we are in terms of response body, definitely we will be returning the response entity. So wherever the response entity, it internally, convert that Java object into our the JSON object. So if we are using the response entity, it will convert our Java object to JSON. So we will be
Okay.
JSON object.
So only the differences will be based on the JSON object, right? Or do we have another thing also with the response entity that we cannot do without response entity, like
Uh,
headers
yes, yes. In response, we
and
have,
status
yes,
codes?
yes, headers, and while returning that one, headers will
Mhm.
be there, and status codes we can obviously,
Mhm.
that time of return we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get.
Okay. So let's say you are seeing 5xx code. So how would you investigate it?
So 5xx is basically internal server error.
Mm-hmm.
It goes through, anything maybe in from, service logic. So we'll go for the internal server. There can be multiple. Either we are not handling the exception, or maybe maybe some null value, some null pointer exception we are getting. So
Mm-hmm.
these 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 things we need to, check in our code and need to resolve that.
Okay. Okay, so let's say you are going to uh, create a clone of Make My Trip kind of applications. Let's say Make My Trip only. Now, tell me what microservices would you create in order to in order to make a clone of Make My Trip application? Just tell me the name of the microservices name.
Okay, so make my trip basically application we need to clone, right?
Yes, let's say we are going to make a clone of this Make My Trip. Okay. Now your first task is to split the whole application into the several microservices, right? So what would be those microservices?
Okay, there can be see. So for make my trip, there can be multiple services. So first will be obviously the first will be the booking. In terms of you talk about in my make my trip there, I think we
Booking
can book.
service.
Yeah, booking services and hotel services are there. Okay, so
Okay.
in that related things will be there. Also, there are multiple categories there. I think in Make My Trip offering the railway also, railway flight, these things. So
Mm-hmm.
there can be multiple like these four services will be there also. And through the payment gateway, obviously, so payment services will be there.
Mm-hmm.
And for login also, we should be having user service also for user login and login and apart from that these services that we can implement the service API
Mm-hmm.
gateway and what we call securities, all those things.
Okay, great. So recently, have you heard like back in 2, 3 years, I don't know the exact date, Amazon Prime shifted from microservices to monolithic architecture.
Yes, I've heard about that.
Do you know the reason?
No, I don't know about that one, but I think maybe Amazon Prime basically uh, the reason I didn't don't know about that one maybe,
Okay,
but
just guess it. I mean, tell me what do you think on this? Guess the reasons.
so maybe the handling cost would be high, but I
Mm-hmm.
think Amazon have much. I think we can't expect that money perspective. The reason, the technical reason, we can say from switching from microservices to monolithic. Exact reason, what could be?
Yeah, actually, the cost cutting is also one of the reason, but uh, there is no specific reason. It's up to the client.